Hello, friends. Today we are in lesson 11, which we are very close to the end of this course of level 4 grammar. There are only two other lessons, which this course contains 13 lessons for level 4 grammar. So we're gonna continue until the end. I will be with you and cover new topics for you and help you understand and get more information from me. So, we've talked about the phrases, different kinds of phrases and verbals, which was prepositional phrase, and also we had gerund phrase. And we also talked about the infinitive itself as a verbal. So today we have infinitive phrase, which is very easy and so close to infinitive itself. To know more about it, we can define it as an infinitive phrase will begin with an infinitive to simple form of a verb, as we had before. When we have a to plus simple form of a verb, we can get the infinitive. But by adding more stuff like adding more objects or modifiers, we can get infinitive phrase. So the only difference between infinitive or infinitive phrase is that we have to add more modifiers or object for the phrase that we have to make it more detailed and to give more information so you can make phrases this way. The function, they are functioning exactly as the infinitive. They can be adjective, adverb, or nominal or noun. In the formula, we must have infinitive, which is to plus verb base, but having modifiers or object are optional. What we have here between these two parentheses or any other of them are optional. You can add them or you cannot. But for phrases, we need them. You can add object or you can add modifier. You can add all of them together. Depends on the sentence or what you want to say. So here we have some examples to make it more clear for you. The first one, to buy a big house is all she dreams about. Let's take a look at the structure of a sentence. Here we have to buy, we have a big house, and we have the verb of a sentence, and they are the complements. So you can you can see the infinitive that we have here, and it's added more information for it, so that could be a phrase. So this is the infinitive phrase. Sorry. Okay, ignore it. We have an infinitive phrase, to buy a big house, which makes the subject of a sentence and it's nominal. And the second one, the red car to buy was not his choice. We said that infinitive or infinitive phrases could be the subject of a sentence, or could be nominal, or could be adverbial or adjectival. Here, this is describing to buy, the red car to buy. Here, this is infinitive here, but it's describing the red car here. This is describing car, so this is adjective. Lana told a story about her brother to make her mother happy. Here, we have to make her father happy. You can recognize the infinitive by seeing to plus verb. It's not functioning as a verb of a sentence. We have its main verb, which is told, but you can recognize them by having to plus base verb, but it's not functioning like a verb. They are functioning differently as a subject that we said, or as adjectival, or as adverbial or adverb. Here, if you don't know anything about their functions, just think about the sentence. If it answers the why question, just ask yourself a why question, why someone has done this thing. So if you get the answer of why, so you can say that this is a adverb This is functioning adverbially. Or you can test it by adding in order to make your mother happy. So here, Lana told the story about her brothers. Why? The answer is to make your mother happy. So here, this is adverb and describing the verb of a sentence. If you test it by adding in order, so you can say Lana told a story about her brother in order to make her mother happy. But you cannot add in order to here. The red car in order to buy was not destroyed. It doesn't make any sense. You can recognize them this way. If it describes a noun in a verb, or if it's a subject of a sentence, or if it answers the right question. We are gonna take a look at each of them differently or separately. The first one we have nominal. By saying nominal or noun, you may just say this is the subject of a sentence, but not. They can be anything that a noun can do, such as the subject or the object or complement, subject complement of a sentence. So noun could be subject or could be subject complement, and also object complement too. To pass your exam, this is also a subject of a sentence. And this is the other modifiers, like this is the object of a sentence, of this phrase, sorry. To pass your exam here is the object of the phrase. And to pass the subject of a sentence, and here we have the verb is your family's main goal. Here is the subject of a sentence. And this sentence, as you see, has its main subject and has its main verb. So, Anne wants to go shopping and buy some food. Here, verb wants a transitive verb that needs something to complete its meaning. So we have to go shopping and also to buy some food. The are here making infinitive phrases, like wants to go shopping is an infinitive phrase, and to buy some food is another infinitive phrase. And if they complete the meaning of a verb, they could be an object. They are objects. The second use or second function that we have is adjectival. Infinitive phrases could be an adjectival of a sentence, could be an adjective of a sentence. It modifies noun or other nominal, and it's a postpositional modifier that follows the thing it modifies. I talked about the postpositional modifier before. Just for your reminder, is that we have adjective alone or basic adjective, you can say, that describe a noun in a sentence. They comes before the noun that they modify. But here, the phrases or verbals that we have follows the noun that they modify. They don't come before the noun that they modify. They come after the noun in a sentence. So they are called a postpositional modifier. The best way to protect your skin in a sunny day is using a sunscreen. The best way is the subject of a sentence, and to protect is a postpositional modifier comes after the subject of a sentence, and it modifies the subject, which could be an adjective. To protect your skin is a phrase that we have, infinitive phrase, to protect your skin. Cool. Grizzly bears are impressive animals to see in the wild. So here we have animals, which is a noun in a sentence, and to see in the wild is it's an infinitive phrase and describing a subject. It's not a subject, but it's a noun in a sentence, so it's describing this noun, which is animal. they are all about the nominal, which could be a subject or object of a sentence, as we said. And the second use is adjective. The last usage is adverbial, as I mentioned before. The doctor, I didn't put any definition because I told you, like here, they could be tested or we can answer the right question to determine if it's adverbial or not. So we are going to start with a sentence or an example. The doctor is taking anatomy and physiology this semester to understand the interplay of muscle and bone in the human body. The doctor is the subject of a sentence. Is taking is the verb. Anatomy and physiology completing the verb of a sentence. So here we have to understand the interplay of muscle and bone. They are not part. Okay, sorry for that. To understand the interplay of muscle and bone. Why the doctor is taking anatomy and physiology? To understand the interplay of muscle and bone. So here this is answering the why question, which is very easy. The second one, a student read the entire article 3 times in order to pass the exam. Here we have in order, which makes our work very easy to recognize that it's adverbial. And that's it. As usual, we have some notes for you. Infinitive punctuation. And this is the other clue, another clue to determine if it's adverbial or adjectival or anything in a sentence. If it begins a sentence and it followed by a comma, it means that it's an adverbial and modifies the verb of the following sentence. Okay? If we have a sentence starts with something, which phrase or any phrase we have, and then we have comma, and also we have the subject of a sentence. So you can know that from this, you can know that this phrase that we have is not a subject of a sentence because we already have a subject, main subject, and also a verb. So you can determine that it's not a nominal. So this is not an adjective because it doesn't come after the noun in a sentence. So here, by having a comma and also a subject of a verb in another clause or sentence, you can determine that this is the adverbial. This is functioning adverbially in that sentence. This is another clue. We had why question and we had also the in order to test, and here another clue which is comma. By having comma and then after that a subject and also a verb, that would be an adverb in that sentence. To pass the exams, infinitive phrase functioning adverbially. Beside that, we have another function for infinitive phrases, special situation, which is called causatives. When I studied the subject, that was the first time for me that I heard this word. So you may don't know, and it's fine because we are gonna explain it now. What are causatives, or how they work, and so on. We have common causative verbs are just what they sound like verbs. When one person is causing another to do something such as make, cause, allow, help, enable, force, or require. Okay, when a person does something, when we describe it in a sentence, we have to have a subject of a sentence. And we also have some a verb, a main verb of a sentence. If we have these kind of verbs, like make, cause, allow, help, enable, force, or require, or some other kind of verb, you can recognize them or you can memorize them, whatever easy for you. These verbs are called causatives. Why they are causatives? Because they are gonna complete the object of a sentence. They are complete the meaning of the object of a sentence and tells us what the object of a sentence is gonna do in the future or how it works. So here we have the pattern. We have subject, verb, direct object, or object complement. So why we have this topic under the topic of infinitive phrase? This is because these object complement or causative that we have are always, or not always, almost always, or usually they are infinitive or infinitive phrase. So the reason that we are talking about it here is that so we can get to the conclusion that the infinitive phrases could be the object complement too, which function nominally. Why we object complement and why they are important? Because it tells what the direct object will become or do in the future, and it is usually infinitive or infinitive phrase, as I said, and they are very often the infinitive. And also, this infinitive could be bare. It means that we can remove to or omit to in a sentence. We only have the infinitive alone, that we have the base verb alone without having to, but you have to recognize it by the meaning or by this formula that we have here. This is the formula of causative, which makes the work easy for you if you understand it. In a sentence, we have the subject and we have also a verb. After the verb that we have, there could be any of them: make, cause, allow, enable, force, or require, or any of them. After these verbs, we need to have a direct object. This direct object needs to tell us about something that will happen in the future. So to complete its meaning and to tell us about what it's gonna do or what does it mean, we have to have the object complement. This is the main purpose of having causative. They have to have something to complete its meaning. So here we have object complement, which is usually the infinitive or infinitive phrase. Here is only one example. Nina's father made her get out of bed too early Friday morning. Here we have the subject and the verb, and also after the verb we have made, which is the past form of make. Here made needs an object to complete its meaning. Made her. Made her what? We also need to complete the meaning of this object, so we need the object complement. This object complement that we have here is infinitive phrase. How do we know that it's infinitive phrase? We have get, which is a verb, but the to is bare and it's omitted. So you can, from the structure, you can know that Nina's father made her get out of bed or made her to get out of bed. You can use both ways. They are both correct. Nina's father made her what? Made her to get out of bed. So the object complement that we have is usually the infinitive phrase or infinitive, that they complete the meaning of the object, the direct object. And just take a look at these exercises here to understand better. I'm gonna leave you for around a minute and think of these examples for examples here, and we are gonna go over them. What you have to do is identify each infinitive phrase as adverbial, adjective, or nominal. What we talked about more in this lesson was recognizing the functions that infinitive phrase could do or um, could work. So here, what you have to do is to identify these the function of these infinitive phrases that we have in these four examples. So I'm gonna leave you and then we will go back to solve them. I hope you found out the answers and let's see if you are correct or if you understand the lesson or not. The first one, to pay that much money for a television is foolish. You may get confused because we have too many words here. To pay that much money for a television, it's too much. You don't know which one is the subject of a sentence, but only think by the meaning. Can you say a television is foolish? You cannot. Can you say money is foolish? You cannot. So read the whole sentence and then you can know or you can figure out which of them is the subject of a sentence. We have verb here and also we have the adjective, which is easy. So to pay, you can say that this is the subject of a sentence, and to pay that much money for a television is the infinitive phrase. To pay also is infinitive, but these all words together make infinitive phrase. So to pay functioning nominally, or you can say functioning as a noun in a sentence. The second one, his only ambition was to succeed at his job. If you say his only ambition was stop, was what? You have to finish or complete the meaning of the subject, that what he wants. His only ambition was to succeed. So to succeed makes the subject complement, which is completing the meaning of the subject is here. It's not an object complement, don't get confused. If it's a subject complement, we have to have another transitive verb, it's linking verb. And also we have to have another direct object and then the object complement. But here we have linking verb and after that we have something which to succeed at this job and it's completing the meaning of the subject and it's also nominal. Means that it also could be a subject complement, object complement, subject and also object, which they are all functioning as a nominal in a sentence. The third one, to attempt an explanation for this phenomena would do little good. To attempt here, it's as the first one is the subject of a sentence. Yesterday, Chris was obsessed all day to lose some weight before the wedding. Yesterday, here this is the adjective. No, sorry, this is only the adverb in a sentence. We don't have any to form, to plus verb. We don't have any infinitive. It's only a word that shows the time or it's adverb. It's a simple adverb. Chris is the subject here, was obsessed is the verb. All day to lose, obsessed is the adjective, was the linking verb. All day to lose weight before the wedding. To lose some weight here makes the infinitive phrase. And how do we know which kind of function it has? Let's take a look. Chris was obsessed. Why he was obsessed? He was obsessed to lose some weight. He was obsessed about losing his weight. So here answering the why question and you can get to the conclusion that it is adverbial and it's functioning adverbially. Or you can say, yesterday Chris was obsessed all day in order to lose some weight before the wedding. It works too. They are all what we can say about the infinitive phrases. What's important about it is that you have to know this is the adverbial. They are um, they are made of the functional verb, like we have to have a to plus verb base, but it's not functioning as a verb in a sentence. They have different functions as we talked about, and you can just describe it this way. And I hope you get the idea of this kind of phrase or kind of adverbial. The adverbial lesson is gonna finish here, and here is the lesson 11. The two other lessons that we have contain different subjects. Until another lesson, I'm gonna go and leave you there to I hope you review the previous lessons that we learned and that we covered, to make yourself much more comfortable about the topics that we talked about, because there are more and you may get confused about them. You can practice daily and you can make yourself confident about your grammar. Goodbye for now. Hope you have a very, very good day.